Well, welcome everyone to episode 1, RBR Australia. We do some high definition motorsport productions, mainly videography, some photography, but something new that we're going to try and do is work with the Northwest Car Club pre-events and post-events here on my YouTube channel. So firstly, my name's Burt. I'm the owner of RBR Australia, and my good friend is Nathan Whittle. Welcome, Nathan.
Thank you, Rick. Pleasure to be doing business with you. I'm a proud member of the Northwest Car Club and secretary, and thanks to Rick, who got me involved in the start, I've been doing a bit of racing too.
Yeah, excellent. So Nathan obviously has quite a bit of experience in the media side of things, mainly radio and music and producing and playing instruments himself, but he also has done a little bit of commentary on the Australian Rally Championship recently here in Burt. So what we're going to try and do, we really don't know, we're just going to play it by ear, and what we intend to do is really just go for gold, freelance, just make it up as we go, and hopefully you guys and girls at home will actually enjoy what we're going to be talking about. So it's really just a chat with a little bit of video, maybe a few photos, pre-events for the Northwest Car Club and also post-events.
Absolutely. There's a lot of hype leading up to the beginning of an event, and the coolest bit I've found after an event is discussing the results of the event with the people who were there. And so we really just wanted to kind of create an environment where we could be discussing those results, and so there's something more than when the event ends and the dust settles and you go back to work on Monday. There's something to have a look at afterwards to keep the juices flowing.
Absolutely, Nathan. So what we're going to do, our very first event, Northwest Car Club of Tasmania, they do have a lot of hill climbs. They also have motorcarnas, Carna crosses up at the block, and they also do tarmac club days or track days, circuit sprints at Simmons Plains Raceway. So our very first event is Sunday, February the 2nd at Symmons Plains Raceway, and that is sponsored by BJR Engineering. Now that is the first round of the Northwest Car Club Black Tack series, so that is a very popular event that takes on a few disciplines in the car club, as in hill climbs, circuit sprints and other things, Nathan.
Essentially there is a motorcarna, like a bitumen motorcarna. That's one of the events of the series. Also a club day, and that's the rest of it, obviously being on bitumen. The rest of it are our open roads sections of hill climbs, notably Troida in March.
Yes.
In Troida Road. Of course, the mighty Lake Barrington, 31 Bends of Barrington hill climb, which is going to be in April, and then we usually do Highclere, but it seems at latest the road still isn't available for that yet.
It certainly isn't available yet, Nathan, because they had some storm damage there, so they're having to rebuild and re-engineer the actual road surface. So watch this space on that one. We'll keep you up to date on that. So yeah, the very first event on Sunday, Nathan, is round 1 of the Black Tack series, and that will be held at Symmons Plains Raceway, and I believe they've got over 30 entries.
Yes, it's looking really good. We're blessed with, it's the Monson Transport Black Tack series, and we're blessed to have so many competitors and so much interest, allowing events to be run that you know are going to be attended, that you know the competitors are keen for, and that enables us to run events for them with minimum of fuss. And we got such a good response out of the club days that we kind of started running more recently at Simmons Plains last year, that we thought, first cab off the rank, as soon as we can, first weekend of February, let's get everyone out to Simmons Plains again.
Let's hope the weather's good. Should be.
Yes, fingers crossed.
This time of the year anyway. So yeah, a big thank you from the Northwest Car Club and also the competitors to Wayne Monson from Monson Transport in Ulverston, a big supporter of motorsport here on the Northwest Coast, and he runs a great trucking and logistic business, and he also has some pretty cool cars himself, Wayne.
He most definitely does. All of us are indebted to Wayne to a degree. Myself, my first event I ever got to go for a ride on a ride day, but I didn't have a race suit and I didn't have a helmet and I didn't know any of the stuff I needed, so Wayne lent me everything I need to go for a ride up the hill in someone else's car, and I've kind of been at every event possible since.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, I've got a dislocated left shoulder thanks to Wayne Monson at a training mishap at the Wesley Vale Football Club in 1990, and I always let Mono know about that each time I see him. But you can imagine what his response is, Nathan, when he tells me I should be somewhere else, sort of thing.
I can imagine he has a certain lack of sympathy for repetitive past events being brought up like that.
Maybe I should let it go. Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know, just make sure you've got a little bit of a limp happening.
Yeah,
and also
what with the shoulder.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether you have a limp with the shoulder, do you? Unless you're walking on your hands.
That is very true. What would a limp for a shoulder be?
A very bad shoulder.
A very bad shoulder.
And sciatica nerve, perhaps, it goes right down.
Totally. You can blame him for all of that.
Yeah.
Also wanted to touch on, so Monson Transport being the main sponsor for the Black Tack series, but this event, as you pointed out, is the BJR Engineering Super Sprint, which brings us to Aaron Bajaya.
Great bloke.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you, Aaron Bajay from BJR Engineering in Ulverston. Once again, a great sponsor, great bloke, great family, and a terrific business. And Aaron also does compete in multiple disciplines within the Northwest Car Club.
No matter what I do, he's always faster in a very similar car. Very, very fast bloke, which is awesome.
Indeed. So we'll quickly just run through the classes for this weekend, and also which is round one of the Black Tack series. So we have Class A, which is 0 to 1600cc. Class B is 1601cc to 2000cc. Class C is 2001 to 3000cc. And Class D is 3001 to 4500cc. And usually they have a Class G for motorsport specials and a Class F for four-wheel drives. Now also, Nathan, with supercharging and turbocharging, both forced induction into the engine, that means that they go up classes.
Are you essentially increasing the cubic centimetres?
Well, you are.
You are literally increasing the cubic centimetres. Well, that'd be why.
Yeah. So that, for instance, if you have a Class C 2001 to 3000, that is also forced induction Class A. So Aaron Bajay's Toyota Starlet, well under 1600cc, but being forced induction, he goes up to Class C. So basically you jump two classes.
Essentially.
Yeah.
And it's very competitive up there too. Now, I do understand that cubic centimetres means that you could essentially do a lot of other stuff to your car to add power, and as long as you're not increasing your cubic centimetres, you're not actually changing your class.
Correct. Yeah, so you can change camshafts, high compression pistons, cylinder heads, whatever you really like. But once you start forcing air into the engine, that's your forced induction. So whether it be supercharging or turbocharging, that's the two. The other one is nitrous oxide, but in Motorsports Australia, nitrous oxide is not used and not allowed.
True. I didn't know that.
Yes, same as methanol. So, well, if you can get away with it, perhaps. But no, we all run by the rules here in the Northwest Car Club.
Absolutely, we do. It keeps things fun.
Indeed. So we're just going to quickly run through the competitors. So in a Mitsubishi Lancer, we've got Caleb Orton. In a Mini is Corey Baker.
Cool.
Michael Bates in his Holden Tirana. Have you seen Michael's Tirana?
I'm not sure. I know the first two cars and blokes pretty well.
Yes. No, well, Michael has got quite a few nice vehicles, a Tirana and a Veal Walkinshaw Commodore that he also runs at the Baskerville Historic, so that was another one. We've got our man himself, Craig Brooks, in a WRX Subaru STI. So Brooksy should be one to watch, and also Molly Taylor is in the same car, I believe.
Very cool. We saw Molly at a rally sprint at Isandula, which was one of the best events. It was super, super awesome, and she was driving that car then. And but I don't believe she was dually entering it with Brooksy. But so it's been a while since I've seen that name on an entry, actually.
Yeah. And well, Molly doesn't really need any introduction. With her, well, she's an Australian rally champion to start with.
Exactly.
And she's also run overseas at many off-road events. She knows how to steer a car.
It definitely felt, it definitely had that air of wow, that she was coming to the first one of her events that she did, and now that she knows clearly that she's got a car and the events are on, she must be down and was keen to come do it again. So that's wicked. We're very lucky to have got a bunch of awesome drivers come from our club heading out to the greater motorsport in the mainland and around the world, and I feel like this is one that's kind of come back.
Definitely, everyone's welcome at Northwest Car Club, and of course Molly, and there's other drivers that do come from the mainland on a regular basis, and co-drivers in the rally scene as well. So, and speaking of BJR, we've got Aaron Bajaya in his Mitsubishi Lancer, another Mitsubishi Mirage. I've got a little bit of a liking for Mirages, Nathan, if you hadn't noticed. Matthew Clark is in one of those. We've got Colvin Howard, who is a regular for the Northwest Car Club.
Legend.
He's having a run in his Mazda MX-5. Hamish Ferguson, Ferg in the RX-7, a Group C replica RX-7. Really, really good competitor as well. And we've got Blake Grundy in a Mitsubishi Lancer. We've got Andrew Hayhurst in the Holden Commodore. Hodjo, Adrian Hodgetts is bringing the 240Z out again,
Really?
for a bit of a run, and that car certainly has history. That was our late great friend Roger Brownrigg from the Northwest Car Club. That was his original gravel car, that one. So Adrian Hodgetts has painstakingly resurrected and rebuilt the 240Z to a standard, and one would hope that would never leave the Northwest Car Club
community
and village, because Roger was a great bloke, and unfortunately in a diving accident we lost Roger. So
I know we have the award
yes,
within the club,
which
is the Memorial Award, but I didn't actually know the story of how that went, just what the man had done for the club. People are very quick to tell you about that, which is awesome.
And of course, just getting back to our great friend Roger, he did compete in the Junior Challenge Australia-wide too, in the Australian Rally Championship back in the day, and a very big loss to Tasmanian motorsport and gravel events. But a bit of a cliche, Nathan, gone but not forgotten, but you know, this really is one of those ones with Rog that we will never ever forget.
Truly.
And there's plenty of great stories of Roger when he used to gravel rally and stuff like that. A real true gentleman and a real stalwart, and he just loved competing, event after event. So we've got a few more there if you'd like to go through a few there.
I shall. Nathan? I was just going to say, I wouldn't have guessed that Hodjo's 240Z had ever touched gravel. There's not a stone chip on it. It's immaculate. It's incredible. It must have been quite the restoration.
If you have a look, roof, you will see a roof vent on it. So that's a bit of a giveaway if you haven't noticed it already. So
cool. And we've got some good names here. Oh, fantastic. A new contender, Edward Howe, in his very lovely Mitsubishi FTO. Yeah. Stoked to have Edward aboard, which is fantastic.
New competitor.
It is.
Once again, great family. And
truly.
But one of our good friends along with Hammy Stein.
Next up is a name that I've never heard before, Robert Jackson in a Ford Falcon. No, Jacko's got the Falcon out again, which will be fantastic.
You can always rely on Jacko. He's always there.
He's always there, quietly doing something to make the event run, and it's awesome to see him on the competitors list, which is wicked.
His turn for a drive, mate.
I think it's about so. Jack Jones in his Subaru BRZ, Class B's looking pretty spicy, I must say. Indeed. And of course Rendell Jones in that gorgeous blue Triple S Pulsar.
Great looking thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Another contender for, I'd imagine, top time of the day, Dave McCullough in the LS1 RX-8.
Yeah, it's got an LS in it, the RX-8. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people talk smack about obviously swapping out a rotary engine out of a vehicle, but I don't think anyone's been faster than Dave for a while. So. Is what it is. And he's
a bit of a steerer, and when you get Dave and Wayne Monson together, well, look out. It's going to be a fun day.
Yes, that's basically the case. And when Wayne lent me his race suit, the first hill climb I ever did was in the passenger seat of Dave's old WRX up Highclere, and that was like a rocket ship. That was like being on an aeroplane. You were just a passenger.
It's like the old Coyote on the Acme.
Oh, absolutely.
Rocket, just light the fuse, hang on.
See ya. And that was absolutely the case. You got Adam Medhurst in a Ford Falcon. We're getting into the... Ooh. I wonder if that's a double entry there. So Wayne Monson series sponsor in a Ford AU Falcon.
Wayne does have an AU Falcon turbocharged 6-cylinder.
Well, I'd assume that's that one then.
And it looks a lot like a supercar type replica thing, yeah, without the 5-stud wheels it's got instead of the centre locks and stuff. But yeah, for a 6-cylinder with a bit of boost, that gets something boogies too.
There's going to be, what a wicked day it's going to be on Sunday. Another Mirage, fantastic, obviously very soft spots for them. This is a Class C, so that's going to have the 2.4 swapped into it of Bryce Bunting.
4G69 to be, yeah.
Fantastic. Another very, very gorgeous car, Lloyd Powell's Nissan 180SX, which I'm assuming would have won a best presented a time or two because it's immaculate.
It is, and a crowd pleaser. Yeah. It's a crowd favourite, that one.
Totally, everyone loves to see it, and seeing him throw that thing around the bitumen motor corner at Latrobe, yeah,
it's a wow.
Yeah,
it's a wow car.
It's awesome.
Yep.
He'll manage to stick it to the road this time. Michael Purden in an E46. It doesn't look like, I'm assuming, it doesn't look like it's had an engine swap. It's in Class B still, so I assume that's how it came. James Quinn in his Mazda Roadster.
Oh yes, MX-5, yes. Young James, that's Craig Quinn's son.
Oh, wicked.
Who's, been in Mazdas ever since I can remember.
Wow. Well, that's how it should be.
And another good little drive too, James.
Cool.
It's the apple doesn't fall far from the tree as far as Craig goes, and these young fella James is, very, very competitive.
Fantastic. Jaron Rind in the Hyundai Elantra.
Yes.
Which is awesome. You see those every now and again, or see that vehicle popping up every now and again, which is just wicked.
Once again, a great family as well.
Yeah, true.
Yes.
I don't recognise the name.
Oh, okay. Yes. So I may or may not have one of the Ryans in my Falcon Ute as a co-driver at a rally sprint at Simmons Plains.
I'm assuming for one event before they
decided to do a Devon colours and get out of the car and walk the rest of the way.
I don't know what it is. You just have such bad luck with navigators, Rick.
Well, next. Next topic.
Speaking of Don Stevens in the Datsun 1200 coupe.
Donny boy.
Yeah, absolutely. Love to see Don drive. Love to see Don wander around chatting away. It's wicked. It doesn't matter what he's in. It's just absolutely flat out, and it's awesome.
Been a long time steerer too, Don. He rolls those curls up and puts them in his helmet. He used to have an 18 ob, and he's got the 1200 coupe, isn't it? Yep.
Yeah, it is too.
Yeah. And Don doesn't mind a good razz up the hill and round Simmons Plains as well.
No, and even in his kind of backup car at the rally sprints, the best I got to doing all day was realising I was only a second behind Don at the rally sprint, and I promptly put it into a bush the next run chasing him. Yeah, I was already driving at the limit. Trying to chase Don is no good. Just don't bother. Speaking of which, Thomas Stones in a very obviously multi-award winning Subaru WRX.
Yes.
Often contending for the very, very top of the outright pile.
Yes, and also in Class F, which would be the four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive class.
Absolutely. Michael Sullivan in a Healy Sprite Mark IIA. I'm assuming you can tell me what one of those is.
Well, yes. It's an Austin Healy Sprite. No, Michael Sullivan is a regular competitor back in regularity, and with the Light Car Club of Tasmania and also the Tasmania Circuit Racing Championship. He's run at Highclere a few times, and that's a class-winning car.
Cool.
And Michael resides in Evandale, and he's a customer of mine, and it's a really, really tidy little car.
Cool. That's going to be very, very cool to see do its thing. I can't actually visualise it because I was born in 1990, so there's some stuff I just don't know. But I assume anything that's got Austin or Healy written on it, that you can probably tell me what it means.
Well, it's a small, very small car with a smallish engine, but doesn't weigh very much.
So to the exact opposite of that, it's, as we mentioned, Molly Taylor in the Contel Communications Class F STI.
Yes, that'll be another one to watch.
That'll be another one to watch.
Molly is a very, very competitive driver, and she'll be very, very exciting to watch.
So we know her as a rally driver, or I certainly do. Is there a circuit history there?
I'm not sure about the circus history, but you probably know her mother quite well.
That's what I mean. I'm like, all these people, I know that they're very, very fast in a rally, but I'm like, does the family go to the track to race as well?
Well, we're about to find out.
We're about to find out. It's going to be one to watch regardless.
Yes.
Cool. There's that Porsche. Ronald Trelaw in the Porsche Cayman S.
Yes.
On one of my best days at Barrington, I was only a couple of tenths behind that. And I went, surely something's wrong here. Surely something's wrong here. So I'll put it down to that, and I hope they have a fantastic day today.
Well, a lot of any Porsche, it's like the Toyota 86 or the Subaru BRZ. They handle quite well. Very balanced car, straight from the factory. So that might surprise a few people, that one.
I reckon. Franklin Trow, awesome. In the NC MX-5, will be awesome to see Franklin out there again.
Yeah, another Class B car.
And this is an interesting one for me. Pete Van Eck.
Yes.
Who's often, I was going to touch on that when we were talking about A-Class, because Pete's usually winning Class A. He's in E-Class today in a forced induction Holden EH.
Yes.
So I have the feeling that's going to be quite a bit more power than the Golf is normally throwing around the track.
So EH Holden, for those viewing at home, is a 1964 Holden. Came out with a 6-cylinder, and they had a few specials in the EHs, and I have noticed it on the hoist when I'm driving past at Veer Automotive in Wivenhoe. So therefore, that will be a very interesting car to have a look at.
It sounds like a big old Holden with an already big motor in it. That's with forced induction on it too.
Yes, well, they're not big. They're not big like a Monaro.
Okay.
They are a smaller Holden, but unless you spend big dollars, it's very difficult to get them to handle like a later model car.
Yeah.
I'm sure Pete has got it sort of sorted out, but a little bit of development will make that quite a quick car, I would think. And yeah, we're looking forward to that one, Peter.
Yeah, cool. I wonder if it will be like the understeer and oversteer every corner.
And that's just the first corner of the first lap, so anything
totally
could happen.
Exactly.
Turn 1 and 2 is going to be interesting.
It's got to be spectacular.
Yeah.
Another Subaru of Michael Watt. So we've got a fair few in the Class F here, and they're all using kind of similar cars, so it'll be interesting to see how it comes out.
Yes.
Another Porsche.
That probably is David Young, I reckon.
It is, if I put those together. That is David Young.
Yes.
In a Porsche 911.
Yeah, David's, well, I can go